ran the marathon. I finished. I'm happy with the performance, kind of. But now what?
It is Tuesday afternoon, left work a little bit early, feeling very sore, but I wanted to stop by the Nike store, check out some of the marathon gear. Hopefully they got some stuff that they didn't have at the expo. Specifically what I was looking for is stuff that was black on black. I've been seeing people all summer long running in marathon gear from years past with black on black marathon stuff, so that's what I'm looking for now. Oh yes, got it. Hopefully I have a medium. They might be out. I only see extra larges. But I'm also thinking about cold weather now. It's time to start thinking about winter running.
Ended up not buying anything at the Nike store today. That shirt that I wanted, they only had them in XLs and double XLs, and so I would have to order it online to get in the size I want. And so I figured as long as I'm ordering that online, or everything else online too, didn't make sense to order some stuff and then buy some other stuff and have to carry it home. I ended up getting rained on like crazy. It poured rain today. I thought it was supposed to rain a little bit, but it was like a downpour today. So that was annoying. Trying to get the girls home, and I don't know what's been going on. And normally, you know, when it rains, the buses and traffic and everything's a little bit worse. But lately, even when the weather's been just completely fine, the buses and traffic have been just absolutely miserable. But my wife is home now. She's with the girls. She's reading books to them. And now I'm gonna open up a package I got. I've never bought a lens before, and I had to buy one because I had the A6500 up the other day on the roof trying to take a time lapse, and I dropped it again, and it landed like, it was on a tripod, it was really windy, and the wind just took it and it did like a face plant right onto some concrete, and definitely destroyed this lens. I immediately bought another one on, not immediately, but really soon after. I watched a couple of YouTube videos and ended up picking, well, I mean, I really like the kit lens that comes with the A6300, but I thought I would try something new for the price, because it's not a cheap lens. And so I bought a used 16mm pancake lens E-mount for the A6300. So I'm going to put that on. I've never bought a new lens before. Any camera that I've always had, I've always just used the kit lens, even on any interchangeable lens cameras that I've had. So this one, it's a little bit of an older lens. I don't think it has OIS. It feels really light. It feels almost like a toy, in fact. So it's a little bit concerning, but it's supposed to perform really well. And I'm going to turn it on. And looks like we're in business. Hopefully I mean, I don't know if the camera itself is damaged. It looks like it's having a hard time focusing right now. There we go. There's folks. Ooh, it looks good. So it looks good in here. I'm going to try and figure out autofocus with this because it should autofocus. If it doesn't, I'm in trouble because how do you vlog without autofocus, especially on a camera that doesn't have a flip out lens? I don't like the fact that it's silver, so it looks like it's kind of like a hodgepodge of parts. But so far, I like the 16 millimeter. It's the same kind of like wide angle as the kit lens that came with the camera is, but it's a little bit of faster glass, so it should be able to allow a little bit more light in. But I just need to be able to figure out some autofocus first. Alright. I had it in manual focus when I was taking the time lapse because when I take a time lapse, I usually just take a video and then I'll speed up the video however much I need to. And I always put it into manual focus because if you don't, then after a while you'll see like the image will just kind of like pulse because it's like subtly changing focus every once in a while because it's taking a time lapse. You're doing it over a long period of time. But now I've got it. I'm going to put it into 1080p 120 frames a second and see how we do. It looks really good. I really like this so far, what I'm seeing. So I'm going to play around with it a little bit. Right now I'm on the iPhone. I'm going to switch over to this A6300 with this 16 millimeter pancake lens. Don't know if I'm in focus. Hopefully I'm in focus. But today what I wanted to talk about is kind of what's next on the horizon running wise. Finished the marathon on Sunday, rested Monday. Today's Tuesday. I went for a run this morning, about 4.5 miles. My phone died, so I don't know exactly how much, what kind of pace I was running in. I think it was probably a little bit under 9 minutes a mile. It's about as fast as I could go right now. My legs, my quads are still burning and really sore. They're tender to the touch. I don't feel like I pulled a muscle. But it's not sore like I did a workout sore. It's a different, I mean, they're definitely more than just sore. They're hurt in some kind of way, but I don't think in like an injury way, or not quite to the level of injury. But this week I'm going to kind of just take it easy, get back into it a little bit. And then I don't have any, I'm not signed up for any races at this point. So me and my buddy, we were talking about signing up for the Winter Half Marathon again here in Chicago, the F3 Winter Half Marathon. That was a fun event. We ran it as stormtroopers last year. We're probably going to run it in costumes again if we run it. But, you know, in terms of my overall time, I've had some time to kind of process the event and process kind of how I did. And even just editing the vlog for the video that went up today, not the day that you're watching this, but the day that I'm filming this. I feel like I did much better than I had kind of already in my mind created this memory, an incorrect memory, but I had already created like a memory of how poorly I did. So I'm feeling a little bit better about that. I was 12 minutes off my goal pace, but if you think about how long I was running, it was only like 5% off. So I still have a goal. I want to get to 3:30. I'd like to get under 3:30. For a marathon time, but there's a couple of things I think I need to do to get there, and so I think that's kind of like, you know, I got to talk to my running buddy. We had a little bit of a chance to kind of talk things over, you know, after the race while we're all kind of celebrating at his house on Sunday. But I think we need to get like a, you know, have a little bit of a long run and kind of, you know, hash everything out, see what we're going to do next. It turns out that for our half marathon, we each ran a PR. In the marathon, we ran our half marathon in 1:45 and change, which was a PR for each of us by about 3 minutes. So I feel really good about that, number one. And I think that for 2018, I'd like to get that closer to 140. So 140 is kind of my goal. I think 143 is very attainable. I think under that would be just kind of just gravy. I think 3:30 is going to be the goal again for 2018, I think. And I also think that in order for me to do that, I think I need to run more marathons, and smaller ones. I can't just run the Chicago Marathon. It was a fantastic event, just mind-blowing, amazing, surrounded by some of the world's best runners, and some of the world's best spectators for sure. The entire race, I felt like we were either passing people or getting passed by people. I never really felt like I was in a rhythm. I never really felt like I found a pack to run with. Because when me and my buddy would run our long runs, it'd just be the two of us out there. After about mile 10 or so, I get pretty chatty in the beginning of a run, and then by then I'm kind of out of things to say and a little bit out of breath. And so we just run. You kind of lock in and you run. And on this race, there were so many wonderful spectators everywhere. There's always so many people around that I never really got to that point of kind of that place where I could just zone out and get into a rhythm. I tried to do it. I felt like, when I was struggling, I felt like, from mile 17 on, I felt like that point in Fight Club when he puts the lie on his hands and he's trying to go and leave the experience, and he's going to his cave or he's going into the woods and he's just trying to disassociate with his body at that point. That's what I was trying to do. I could never get the music in my headphones cranked loud enough. I could never focus just on running long enough. That was something that it was just so distracting to be at that run. I couldn't focus, or unfocus, depending on how you want to look at it. So I think that I'd like to go to a smaller marathon, hopefully like in April. I know that won't be like the time that I break any personal records, but I do want to have like race conditions, but not like Chicago Marathon race conditions, because that's just a whole other category of race. I've been in big Chicago races before, ones where there's tens of thousands of runners, and still this was nothing like that. Every other race I've been to, the first third of the race, there's tons of spectators, and then it just kind of quiets out, and it's the runners doing their runner thing. This race was never like that at any point. It was just wall-to-wall spectators the entire time, except for a couple of stretches in the more industrial parts down by like Chinatown or before you get to Chinatown. So like miles like 18 through 21, it gets very industrial in that area, and it was just really hot. The sun was beating down on us. There was no tree cover. The buildings weren't tall enough to give us any shade. That was one point where I remember there not being a lot of spectators, but I also remember being able to just kind of like at least try to zone out. But I think that I'd like to run at least 2 marathons next year. Hopefully, Chicago. I think the lottery opens up later this month, so I'd like to be able to put my name in and hopefully run it again next year. In January, the New York City Marathon lottery opens up as well. So that's something that I'm going to be kind of keeping an eye out for too. But that'll be like the fall marathon. I'd like to run one in the spring. I'd like to run one in the summer as well, but it's just going to be so hot. I don't know where I could do that in a place where I wouldn't really just feel like punishing oneself. And the other thing that I want to do next year, and this is not so much for fun, for training or for personal records, but I do want to do like a Run Disney. I want to go to like Disney World and run like a half marathon there. So I'd like to do that. My wife is definitely on board for it because she wants to take the girls to Disney World, and I want to do that too. So hopefully that'll be in the cards for next year. I don't know what other races I'll do from now to the end of the year. I might just try to just get a lot of miles in, get ready for the colder weather, continue building up a lot of base and just get a lot of miles in, and just enjoy running for the sake of running, which is something I really haven't done a lot of, although I started realizing that it's something that does matter to me when we had the taper, and I couldn't run like just every day. So I do really enjoy the running now. And so I think that's what we'll focus on for the next couple of months, staying healthy, getting some more miles in. I'm looking forward to getting some new cold weather gear. I still have a lot from last year, but if I'm going to run a lot more miles this year, which is what I'm hoping to do, I'm going to need a lot more of it. So I'm going to get some new cold weather gear, probably another pair of the Nike Pegasus, but I'll get the Shields again. I saw them today at the store. They look great. So those I'll be ordering them soon, if not now, because it is starting to get a little bit chilly in Chicago. But then again, it was ridiculously hot for the marathon. That's just kind of how Chicago is in the fall. If you don't like the weather, wait a day. Nothing set in stone, but I think that's kind of the general plan. And so a lot more running videos to come, a lot more not running videos to come too. But I just wanted to kind of put some thoughts together from after the marathon. I've been getting a lot of great comments from the marathon video and the marathon expo video. Thanks everybody for leaving comments. Love to be able to talk to you guys that way as well. And so I just wanted to kind of put all of those different comments in kind of one video, one spot, so I could talk about the direction forward.